The Drive on your 24/7 home of the black and gold. Steelers Nation Radio.
Good afternoon, Steeler Nation. It's The Drive on the Steelers Audio Network. Wes Uhler and Matt Williamson with you for the next 2 hours here on a Wednesday. And Matt, I love it when a plan comes together.
Yeah.
We spent plenty of time talking about the Steelers secondary yesterday. I mean, really every
Trying to put the puzzle together. I mean,
how do we put this together? Who are the best players? Mm-hmm. Would you make any moves? What happens if Corey Trice gets back into the fold here? Well, Matt, the Steelers have made a move. And Corey Trice looks like he could be getting back into the fold.
It's been a busy 24 hours with the Steelers secondary.
Certainly has, and so let's dive into it here for kind of our news of the day to open the show. Today, Wednesday, had to think about that for a second, October 29th, Corey Trice Jr. returned to practice. He will remain on the reserve injured list, but he now enters that 21-day window where the Steelers have to activate him to the active roster, or he will spend the rest of the year on IR.
9 out of 10 times they activate these guys.
Correct.
You know, I mean,
Unless
that's
they have
the
an
nature.
Injury setback or something like that.
I know, like when Howard started, I threw it out there. Maybe you just want to get 3 weeks of practice because I only threw it out because it's so unusual. I'm sure Trice will get activated at some point. You know, we can bring it up to Chris. Maybe it's not this week. Probably not this week. There's no reason to do it this week. But that's great. I mean, I think people are familiar with his work at this point. He's Joey Porter sized, if not bigger.
He's huge.
I mean, he's crazy long. Yeah, he's very talented. He probably would have been a third-round pick coming out of college if he didn't have injury stuff. Steelers take him in the 7th, and sometimes those guys continue to have injury stuff, and it never works out. And that's kind of where we're at with the guy. But they would have given up on him so long ago if they didn't think he could be something.
Correct.
That's all that matters, you know. And frankly, he might be the starter opposite Porter next year. I mean, like, that's possible. I mean, I think that's his ceiling. Could he be? I don't think, you know, you're not throwing Rob Woodson or Mel Blount on the roster and all your problems are solved.
Sure.
But he's a big physical man press guy that is exactly what they need. Why not explore? I mean, just explore.
I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
You are absolutely spot on when they're in saying, pardon me, let's rewind that. You are absolutely spot on in saying he's navigated, he had the injury stuff in Purdue at college. Yeah. He's had that again in the National Football League. Mm-hmm. There's a reason why they've stuck with him for so long.
The thing.
They like him a lot. You know this, Matt. It's something that we kind of allude to all the time. You and I are not in the meeting rooms. We're not privy to everything. We're not always behind the scenes.
We're not even at the facility every day like Dale was or Chris is, or, you know, right.
I'm there Tuesdays, you're there Thursdays. We're each there once a week.
I eat lunch and I record a video and I go home.
I do a Mike Tomlin press conference show with Jerry Dulac. I eat lunch and then I go home.
Right.
Well, no, actually,
eating lunch is the highlight.
I come here to do a show with you. But we also, while we are not in it.
Training camp's a different story, though. We're pretty well wired.
Training camp is a different story. And so while we're not in it, we also obviously are privy to much more information and conversation than the average Joe.
Of course.
The amount of times that after Corey Trice was drafted, I'd be sitting up on the dorm by St. Benedict's Hall, having a cigar with our brother Craig Wolfley.
Nice, yeah.
And people would be talking about Corey Trice when they drafted him.
That's a little social area up there.
It is. That's where you get the good. That's like the gossip. That's like the gossip table in the lunchroom.
That's a cool kid table.
Exactly right. And you just hang out with Wolf and have a cigar and shut up and listen. And the year that he got drafted and then hurt, and then when he came back the next summer. A lot of times I was kind of the fly on the wall while some people were talking about how much they liked Corey Trice and how much they believe that he is exactly what you want from that position as long as they can keep him healthy. And, hey, maybe this is the final opportunity for him in that regard, but it's good timing. They could certainly use this reinforcement out of the bullpen.
So I've been with teams, and this is more so the college level, but it still holds true. We would have a meeting at every day at Pitt. I remember that most because that's where, I was the longest, where we would all be, every coach would be in the room. I was a GA. I had my seat. The head coach had his seat. Our head trainer had his seat. Even our director of football ops and equipment guy. And some of those guys wouldn't stick around for the football stuff. You'd knock out stuff, and then they'd go do their work. But every day you'd talk to Rob Bain. He was our top doctor guy, and sometimes those guys will just tell you, I'm doing everything I can just to get them the next practice. If you want to keep risking it with them, especially at the NFL level, you're paying them,
Sure.
So be it. But I can't guarantee you anything health-wise. This guy's got something that's going to be always there.
An issue.
Yeah. Or there's no way you're going to want to give him a contract. Or, that's what they're paid to do.
Absolutely.
Or he's got bad luck. That we'll never know those answers. But the fact he's still there.
It's nothing that he's prone to. He's just had bad luck.
Right. Like, man, I just feel bad for the guy. He fell on the side and whatever.
Right.
Yeah. He's got something, that was totally fluky. Or
Cole Holcomb's injury from a couple years ago, where his own team, Aiden Hutchinson's injury last year. You know what I mean? That has nothing to do with those guys being injury prone.
No.
That's just a fluke.
And there's some of them, these guys are so good medically. It's like, well, he's got these issues with his right leg, so he's always going to he'll have ankles and he'll have pulled things and his back's going to get out of whack. And, I can see the writing on the wall, And the fact that Trice is still here tells you two things: that they either like him so much that if the injuries are fluky, okay, we're just going to go injury to injury. If they're not, we're going to stick around with this guy because we like him so much.
Exactly.
There's still a cost, ratio there.
Analysis.
Yeah.
No, 100%. And so with Corey Trice, who knows what it looks like long term, but the fact that he's returned to practice, I got to think you're right. This week, probably too soon. But sooner rather than later, we could see him maybe out in L.A. next week. Mm-hmm. And what that can mean for the secondary could be massive if he can stay healthy down the stretch and provide them with real quality reps and snaps and maybe help alleviate some of those concerns.
And the thing is, too, when you activate someone or trade for someone, we're going to get down that road here, too, well, someone's got to go. They don't let you keep as many people on the roster as you want. So when he gets activated, is that bad for Trice or Pierre, or is there a safety that's going to get
certainly could
the shaft with Duggar showing up? Somebody's going to. You can't just keep adding people.
It certainly could be. You are absolutely right. And that is, now you don't have to do anything to change the active roster because he hasn't been added to the active roster yet. But
I hope they don't all of a sudden put Elliott on IR for, I thought we avoided that with the first press conference of the week, but that could be a possibility for Duggar too. I've seen it happen before. I'm not speculating.
Sure. That's absolutely fair to bring up, Matt. I think you're spot on there. And then let's go there. That's kind of the other big
it's a big deal
thing that's happened in the last 24 hours. Not only Corey Trice Jr. Returning to practice for the Steelers and activating that 21-day window, but the Steelers have acquired a safety, Kyle Duggar, from the New England Patriots. It's a 7th and 6th round pick swap for the Steelers and the Pats. Duggar just signed a 4-year, $58 million deal last year.
Which is a bad deal.
That's a lot.
They made a mistake giving him that much.
You better be Minkah Fitzpatrick at safety if you're getting that kind of money. You combine the fact that was also before Mike Vrabel came into the equation as well, too. New coach, new defensive.
That part's huge.
That part's massive.
Yeah.
New coach, new defensive scheme. He has started 69 games in his career, and recorded 9 interceptions. That's a pretty sizable splash rate there. Matt, tell us what we need to know about Kyle Duggar. A pick swap in the 6th and 7th round, so not a massive amount of capital that you're giving us up for this guy. What's it look like for his role? What's it look like for that contract? Everything involved. What was kind of your initial reaction when you saw this news last night?
The whole biography. What is Kyle Duggar? Kyle Duggar,
an American football safety for the the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He was a reasonably early 2nd round pick out of Lenore Rhine, which is I had never heard of before Kyle Duggar's name came across the beast or whatever when I was exposed to it for the first time. A tiny, tiny school. And safeties out of tiny, tiny schools don't go in the top 50 picks. You might use a 6th, 7th round pick on the guy. But his combine numbers are insane. And at Lenoir-Rhyne, as you would imagine, he was always the best guy in the field.
The superstar.
Right. Everyone's, who is that? And he's 6'1"-ish, about 220 pounds, and his combine numbers are astronomical. I mean, jumps, change of direction, 40. Now, he's 28, I think, 29, something like that. He's been in the league 5 years, 29.
He's 29. Yep. Thanks, TV, video producer TV.
And doesn't move like his combine numbers now.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But in a way, remember like NURA, who Seattle took out of South Carolina? Similar. I mean, that's like what this guy was at the combine. He had a serious ankle injury a year and a half ago, something like that. And that, I'm not sure he moves the same since.
Sure.
And he's also older. I mean, none of these guys move like they did at the combine. You know, they have a lot of wear and tear on their body. I tweeted out all his alignment data. I would say about 20% of it was at free safety. That's not really what he's done. He's done a lot of in-the-box work. He's basically a strong safety. And I'll be honest, 2 years ago, I thought he was on the verge of being an all-pro, or a Pro Bowler.
Star.
Yeah. I mean, like one of the top 10 safeties in the league. Got injured, and he's versatile, but he's not a great cover guy. I mean, he'll knock your teeth out of your head. I mean, he comes downhill and crushes people and covers a lot of ground still, and he's big, and he's physical, and he plays hard. But I think a huge key here is getting out of the Belichick-Brady world that is so overpowering in New England, I think is an obvious goal of this staff.
Totally.
I mean, and it's not easy.
They want
to
completely turn the page.
Yes, it's
write a
become
new chapter,
very obvious.
all that stuff.
Like I didn't think Jabril Peppers should have got cut, but he was part of the old staff, and he's one of Bill's guys. And Bill wanted highly versatile players. You know, even like Keon White, who they traded, is a 285-pound end. Well, they run a 3-4, and he's not really a 3-4 end, and he's not really T.J. Watt or Highsmith. He's a big power 4-3 end that bumps inside on passing downs. Sure. And Belichick wants guys he can move all over. Vrabel wants Landry, and he wants his dudes. And he also, I think, he and the whole organization, and it makes sense, just wants the Belichick people out. Like I don't need stories of Brady and Gronk and rings and fortunately for Vrabel, the very short regime post-Belichick were really bad at their job. I mean, the head coach and GM did really bad stuff, so there was nowhere to go but up. And frankly, the end of Belichick's career there was really bad as a GM, some of his drafting and all those type of things. But he wanted a certain type of player. Vrabel does not want the same type of defensive player, and they just want to get new Drake May running the show. You see it in every line of business, Matt, when new leadership comes in. They want to, you know what I mean? They want to do things their way. They want to start a new chapter completely. Especially you're following that guy. Get that shadow out of here,
Exactly right. And so it makes a lot of sense from that standpoint. I mean, there's some same church, different pew stuff there as the Jabril Peppers move that, that we just saw.
And you basically gave up nothing for him. Peppers you got for free. This is about the same. You got to pay him.
You think he's got a little bit more juice or a little bit more to offer in the tank than Peppers?
I don't know, because I feel like I have an income. I was so excited to get Peppers for nothing. Yeah.
And you thought that by now he would have ingrained himself into maybe not a starter, but a regular on that defense.
I think we were talking to Adamski yesterday, and I thought the game, just like Chris did, that Clark was inactive and Peppers wasn't, that the changing of the guard had occurred.
Was that? That wasn't Dublin, was it? Was that Cleveland?
I think it was Cleveland.
Out of the bye week? I think so.
And apparently that's not the way they saw it, or there was some setback or something we don't know about. So my Peppers as a Steeler grade is massively incomplete. So comparing the two is tough. But they're similar. They're both more strong than free. They're both, on their best day, were knock your doors off physically impressive. they, and I hate to say this, Ramsey, Slay, Thornhill, all these guys they've invested in, Clark, could they all just be not what they used to be? Maybe. There's a theme here. These are guys who are all high pedigree, on their best day, were physical freaks, but their best day is probably behind them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a short lead, do the Steelers have a blind spot for these guys? If they do, I do as well, because I'm with them. Like, I want to bring in pedigree guys that have done well, but injuries and getting your bodies beat up, you don't last forever in this league. I mean, are they buying used cars that have a bum wheel? I don't know.
Sure. That's a fair question to ask, I think.
But they're not paying sticker price either. That's the thing. You only need one to hit out of three.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. And hopefully one of these moves that we've discussed here will end up having a substantial impact, whether it's the return of Corey Trice, whether it's the addition of Kyle Duggar. You need another tool in that secondary toolbox.
Yeah.
You need another piece in that group, I think. You could have said that before Deshaun Elliott went down, but now especially.
Of course, especially. So I do think Duggar can do some of the Elliott things against the run for sure. Like, guy gets past the first level. Elliott cleaned up a lot of that. Big, ferocious tackle. You don't love that 6 to 8 yards downfield in the run game, but this guy covers a lot of ground, and he's a physical thumper and will blast you. Now, I don't want him playing man coverage against, slot receivers, and he can line up in the slot. He's not going to play a lot of single high on his own. He's going to be a strong. And I looked into his contract briefly, which is a bad deal, like I said. But the Steelers are going to pay him the rest of the year. They'll just pay him his weekly salary, which isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, but you can get out of his deal after the season without much problem. I think he's due to make like $10 million next year, which I would be shocked if he's worth that.
Sure.
But maybe he blows your doors off and you don't opt out of the deal. Who knows? I don't know. But I like the risk.
I think for the time being, it's a fair one to take.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, you pay him out the rest of the season and you get rid of him before you have to pay any big roster bonus or any type of guaranteed money, things like that aren't on the docket right now. You combine that move, you combine I guess not as much the Corey Trice, because that was probably scheduled. They've probably been trying to get him back to practice as soon as possible.
As he's healthy, they were going to bring him back. Right.
But I also think both of the timing of these cannot be purely coincidental in the sense of they're turning over some stones in that secondary to try and get something to...
They're not sitting on their hands, clearly.
Yes.
You're right. And I would be shocked if they make another move between now and Tuesday at 4 o'clock or whatever, too. I kind of expect that they will.
Still 6 more days left in the trade deadline. That is, of course, something that we will monitor. We'll talk more about this, about 20 minutes or so now with our buddy Chris Halicke. We'll get all the latest from the South Side with him. When we come back on the other side, Matt, what do you say we go around campus here a little bit? And I've got a funny story for you. And our buddy TV, Tyler V., our video producer, is going to get to do a victory lap. I'll explain why when we return on the other side. Wes Uhler, Matt Williamson, good old-fashioned radio tease. It's The Drive on Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network. Going to talk to our buddy Chris Halicke, get all the latest on some of this Steelers moving and shaking here in just a few minutes. But before we do, it is time to go back to school. Rodney Dangerfield, John Blutarski here as we go around campus and talk some college football quarterbacks. Before we do so, Matt, can I tell you something terrible that happened to me and why our guy, Mr. TV, was laughing at me about an hour ago?
Please. I'm all ears.
Microsoft is down right now. Okay? We have Microsoft is kind of the platform that we use here in the iHeartRadio studios.
I would say, why does that matter? Right.
So for all of our workday stuff here in the building, our work emails, all that runs through Microsoft, through Outlook. Okay. As you know, especially nowadays, not every computer has Microsoft Word on it.
Okay.
You got to get a product key or you got to pay for it and all that stuff. So I've had issues in the past where I haven't been able to open and edit a Word document on certain computers in here because it's not installed and all that annoying stuff.
That would make me insane.
So I've been doing this around campus packet that I procure for you and myself and
yeah,
TV.
as I say, it's nothing sitting at my seat here.
I know,
Yeah,
I didn't have your cheat sheet sitting on your seat like I normally do because I had been doing that through my work Microsoft platform.
Gotcha.
Because I can log in from anywhere on any computer and edit it. So I can do it at home last night, and then I could come in here and pull it up and do it here, and I don't have to worry about the transfer of Microsoft Word and saving and emailing and all that stuff.
Nonsense. Yeah.
It's just one platform. Well, that platform is down today.
Trouble.
So I came in here and I couldn't access it. I was not freaking out, but I was, kind of upset
Not thrilled,
and
right,
angry.
yeah.
And like I put this work into this last night. I'm trying to put the finishing touches on it now and print it off, and I can't access it. And Microsoft is down. And Tyler's been telling me for a month now, like, dude, just use Google Docs. Why are you using Microsoft? Google's so much better. Google's so much better. And he's in here. He's putting his hands over there now. Hey, what are you going to do? Like he's Tony Soprano over there. What are you going to do?
Bada bing.
I'm like in here like pounding the table like, oh, come on, why can't I log in? And he's like, I've been telling you to use Google Docs. I've been telling you to use Google Docs. So, Matt, fortunately, I've put the work in. I put the research in. This is something that like I enjoy and I know.
Cuff, yeah.
And yeah, exactly right. So maybe not quite as deep into the weeds and as thorough as typical, but we're going to talk around campus. We're going to talk some of these same quarterbacks and maybe a new name or two in the conversation. Maybe some of the more depth guys on this list that we've talked about, like the Hayes Kings of Georgia Tech.
He had a big week, right?
He did.
Yeah.
Sawyer Robinson of Baylor. Maybe just since I'm not working with the full gambit of my information and research, we'll stick to some of the bigger names this week.
Okay.
But there's plenty to get into, and in fact, I know you watched one of these quarterbacks, so I wanted to get your thoughts on what you thought as well, too. But Matt, let's start with Fernando Mendoza, the name that we're like Neil Armstrong with Fernando Mendoza. We started talking about this guy back in the summertime before the college football season even started, before he played a single snap for Indiana, as he was a Cal transfer to IU. Matt, I mean, they just absolutely dominated UCLA. He didn't have to do a ton, just threw the ball 22 times, 3 touchdowns. Did run for 45 yards and a touchdown as well, too. Yeah. Which is nice to see from him.
I say that box needs to get checked, and I think he's not going to be Michael Vick. But
no,
right.
Can you be Herbert?
Oh, yeah.
Can you be
take
Mahomes?
That all day long.
Can you be Joe Burrow and use your legs when they give it to you?
I mean, he's clearly not a stiff.
He's clearly not a stiff.
Yeah,
exactly right. And that's really, I think, was one of the final boxes to check for him. He's thrown for nearly 2,000 yards, 23 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions on the year, Matt. Right now, barring injury or something crazy, unforeseen drop in production, I think he is the one kind of nailed-on top 3, top 5 pick amongst the quarterbacks in this class.
Yeah, I mean,
he continues to just every single week, consistent improvement. And his team is one of the best in the country, and they keep winning.
I mean, he looks like an NFL starter.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, 1,000%. I don't have a lot more to add. I mean, I think it is noteworthy that he's partially, but a lot, responsible for making a not historically great program into like a top 5 type of thing. I mean, that's a lot of responsibility. Like it's a different level, but like Desmond Ridder took Cincinnati from blood. They kept winning. It's like,
went to the college football playoff.
Yeah, there's something you said for that. I watched some of them. He's impressive. I like the way he throws the ball. He's got size. He's got traits. He'll definitely be in the mix for first overall.
Dante Moore, another guy that we've been discussing, is kind of one of the big 3 of this group, along with Lenore Sellers, too. Dante Moore took a nasty clothesline early in the second half, exited the game. They took care of business against Wisconsin. He looked fine before that. But now his status going forward is kind of up in the air for this week, Matt. Well, they do have a bye week, pardon me, first. So it's good news for that in that regard for him. But he had to exit the game early. Hopefully for their sake, nothing long-term. They do have the bye week, which helps. But it was almost a little bit of a neutral Saturday for Dante Moore. You didn't get to see a ton. He left the game early in the second half with an injury. But hopefully with the bye week and the good timing there, it's just a slight scare and nothing too serious.
Okay. Again, you're way more on top of these guys on a week-to-week basis than I am. But I do have a real good feel for how the process works and how, what things, the scouts are in league is looking for. My hunch is Moore and Simpson at Bama because they haven't played a ton. I bet the college playoffs have a lot to do with if they declare or not.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's a great call by you. Both a little bit more. I mean, he's into the low double digits. I mean, I think probably got 11, 12, 13 starts now in his career. Ty Simpson is still at, 7 or 8?
Yeah.
I mean, and so you're absolutely right. If those guys light it up in the college football playoff and you're going to be a top 10 pick.
Win a couple games and beat good teams and okay.
Get out of here. Go be a top 10 pick. If not, and there's some questions and maybe you won't get drafted as highly as you think or you hope, then maybe you consider.
Or if you're in and out of the lineup with an injury or that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely. A guy who injury earlier in the season, South Carolina's really been struggling, but I still think
I watched a lot of this one.
I still think, and I know you did too, Lenoris Sellers. Want to get your thoughts on him, Matt. Alabama scores late to beat South Carolina, but I thought Sellers played pretty well. 222 yards, 1 touchdown through the air, another touchdown on the ground, 67 rushing yards.
I thought he was super impressive.
I still think listen, if you just look at the box scores and the way their season is gone, I think you could be like, what's all the big hype around this guy?
Of course.
If you watch it, man, he just oozes potential. He's got all the traits that you want, and he's on a really bad team.
He's on a really bad team, man. I mean, compared to Bama.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure they beat Carnegie
Their
Mellon,
offensive
their
offensive line is bad, and they can't run the ball.
I know. That's what I took away from it, too, is he's not a clean passer. I mean, I think we know that. But he's not just an athlete playing quarterback either. He's not some of the terrible stereotypes. I mean, he can throw the ball well. Now, he misses some layups, and I'm sure he has mechanical stuff to clean up and continue to work on. Fine. But, I mean, he's a modern-day Steve McNair as like a runner, a competitor. McNair was so strong for his era, and McNair was a better thrower and a better downfield passer at this stage, even though he's coming out of a tiny school. But that's what I kept seeing from the guy, and you mentioned it, like watching this game, he would make an incredible play where shrugs off 3 tacklers, spins around, ends up with an 8-yard gain, runs over a dude, first down. And there's flag, hold.
Yep.
I mean, like every time.
Every time.
It's like, oh, my Lord. Like, this poor guy is a one-man show against the Crimson Tide and is a fair fight. And he ends up fumbling, like, on the last play, which I felt horrible for him.
Terrible.
Because I wish anyone else in the stadium fumbled.
Would have made a mistake in that moment.
Right.
You know this. I've said this to you. A lot of, I think, his future also depends on not only where he would get drafted if he comes out after this year, but also what happens with his head coach, Shane Beamer, who's kind of been mentioned as potentially, even despite the down year that South Carolina is having, what he's done with that program overall and getting them turned around, and
he might not be there next year.
Being a candidate for some of these other bigger time jobs. I hate saying this because my team, WVU, is not one of the halves of college football. We're not Oregon. We're not Ohio State. We're not Alabama. We're in the same boat as a South Carolina, as a Pitt, as a Maryland. You get a good player, you want to hold on to him like you did back in the old days, right?
Sure.
But there is a small part of me that is like, man, I would love to see Lenoris Sellers transfer to like a big-time, up 1% program.
Yeah.
And see
if
what he
Simpson
could,
or Moore leaves, be their successor.
Exactly right. Exactly
right.
And see what happens, with him surrounded by, a program and a roster that's talented like that.
Yeah. I bet his numbers would be different at Georgia.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Sure.
100%. A couple other guys that we got to hit on, Matt. 2 guys that I'm starting to, I guess I had already started to, but I'm really not feeling great about right now, are John Mateer and Garrett Nussmeier.
Real quick, what I've heard on Mateer, and
I don't think his hand is fully healthy to give him that olive branch.
I mean, I know Todd McShay a little bit. We were at ESPN together, and we used to go to Senior Bowl, and he's got his own thing going on, and he's one of the He's done a really good job of just week to week being. There's not a lot of draft guys that are on it week to week like Todd is now, and I've been paying extra attention. And he firmly believes, he's like, this guy shouldn't be out there, So that's always tough as an evaluator.
I give him. Yeah. It's weird to me because you know that he's not 100%, but it's also like, okay, you're out there.
I have to evaluate. When I got to
evaluate
between the white lines. I have to evaluate it,
and that down the stretch against Ole Miss on Saturday. Mateer had a lot of opportunities for big moments, and he missed the last series of the game. I mean, big play on third down where he missed an open receiver, big play on fourth down where he missed an open receiver, and Ole Miss ends up hanging on there in Oklahoma.
See, this is the value of area scouts, though.
100%.
I was a scout for a year, and I quickly knew that I didn't know. Like if I'd walk into WVU, there'd be this old grizzled dude that's been in there 100 times and brings donuts and knows the lunch ladies and and I'm just like, it's fun to be here. I'm new, I'm the rookie, But I mean, those grizzled scouts will know, hey, from week 6 to 10, Mateer never should have been out there. That kind of
Watch
thing.
his tape from week 1 through 5.
Right.
Judge him
And the
based
Senior
off
Bowl.
of that.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. Man, Nussmeier, kind of the same. LSU got boat raced by A&M.
He seems hard to get excited about at this point. And then they lose their head coach.
Their head coach.
And,
hey, maybe it's easy to say in hindsight that he should have came out after last season.
Mm-hmm.
But
he doesn't look like Sellers or Mendoza.
No, he doesn't. And
I mean,
I thought he was primed to have a huge year.
Yeah.
They've got weapons all over that offense. LSU always does. It's like Ohio State.
I'm sure,
you know what I mean? You want to guarantee 2 programs that always have first-round weapons, LSU and Ohio State. Brian Kelly, who I know it hasn't gone well for him this year, but I mean, look at the dudes that he's put in the NFL on the offensive side of the football in particular.
You can't tell me LSU's a terrible situation.
No, absolutely.
Right.
They've probably got still one of the best 10 or 12 rosters in the entire sport. And it's almost from a fifth-year quarterback that's been in the program, these are the kind of moments where you want to see him grab everybody by the scruff of their neck and pull them up. He's kind of felt like he's been dragged down.
Mm-hmm. Not an elevator, yeah.
And so I'm not completely blaming him, but I'm also not impressed by where we're at.
Yeah, it's not going great.
It continues to go great for Ty Simpson as well, too, Matt. I mean, again, he leads them to a comeback, or not necessarily a comeback because it was a tie game, but he leads Alabama to victory towards the end. I think him and Mendoza are the 2 Heisman favorites. They've been the 2 most impressive quarterbacks. I mean, Ty Simpson has thrown for 20 touchdowns and just 1 interception this year.
Comp that Todd McShay keeps throwing out there, and he's like, I know this is rich, but Burrow. I mean, in terms of his style of play.
I don't hate that.
Real precise, super smart,
Burrow
super
had
competitive.
2 years at LSU, but it was the second where he really took off.
Right. Like, Burrow's not as talented as Josh Allen. Right.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And he's another one.
Stylistically.
He's been a massive riser. You can count almost on one hand the amount of games that he's started in college.
Yeah.
But he is certainly one to keep an eye on, and certainly could be a top 10 pick without a doubt. Last one I want to throw in here for you, Matt, a new name that I briefly mentioned last week, but I got a couple tweets about him actually from people that asked me to add him to the conversation, and that is Arkansas quarterback Talon Green. Matt, some same church, different pew stuff as maybe Lenoris Sellers. He is on a team that is struggling. Arkansas also fired their head coach and is looking for a new head coach. And he did not have his best showing, to be fair, against Auburn this past week, through 3 interceptions in what was probably the worst performance of his season. But 17 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, nearly 600 rushing yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns on the season as well, too. So he can do it with his arm and his legs.
Okay.
And he is like another one of those. He checks all the boxes of the stuff you can't coach. He's 6'6", he runs a 4.4, and he's got an absolute cannon.
Wow.
Like, he's one that bad situation, tries to do a little too much at times and pays for it, will have a 3-interception game.
Like, they have no chance of, being a playoff team.
Heck no. No. They fired their head coach 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
He screams, this is a hot name now when Combine, Senior Bowl, all the postseason stuff. This guy just screams.
Totally.
And the coaches start to get involved. Like, the scouts will nitpick him, and they see things different. Boy, he needs a lot of work. And then the coaches will be like, give me that to work with.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will take that all day, every day. So he is one that I think I said to you.
He could walk past me in the hall. I have no clue who he is. It's the first time I ever heard his name. But I'll tell you right now, wherever people are projecting him, he'll go earlier than that.
Yes.
I just know how this game works. If it's Halloween and people are like, he's kind of interesting, he's got tools, that means he's going to be a 2nd-round pick if people think he's a 4th.
I told you last week, you were absolutely right, and he certainly fits that bill I told you last week, him and Reed, the quarterback from Texas A&M, I'm like really intrigued by and want to see a little bit more from. And those guys have continued in that regard. Last guy that we typically mention, Jaden Mavia, he's coming, the USC quarterback. He's coming off of a bye week, but a big one against Nebraska to watch. Matt, though, Saturday, this week not as loaded for the quarterback versus quarterback matchups this week, but 7 o'clock Saturday, you've got South Carolina at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That's Chambliss against Sellers. Chambliss, I thought, played very well against Oklahoma last week as well, too. He's another one worth a mention. That game Saturday night will be fun to watch. You've also got USC and Nebraska. You've got Mavia against Dylan Riola, who next year will be.
Is he a next year guy?
He's a next year will be in this conversation. Mateer and Oklahoma have to go on the road to top 15 Tennessee. Let's see if Mateer can respond. Those are kind of some of the ones. Should be another pretty easy day for Fernando Mendoza. They go to Maryland for a 3:30 game.
I know some of the bloom was off his rose, but I'd like to have seen Uhler versus Ohio State.
That's at noon on Saturday. Wouldn't it be hilarious if Penn State found a way to win that one after James Franklin being gone? You also might want to keep an eye on at noon, number 9 Vanderbilt at number 20 Texas. Diego Pavia, the Vanderbilt quarterback, who's another Heisman favorite at this point. I don't love his potential.
He seems like a really good college quarterback.
He, to me, is Johnny Manziel light.
Mm-hmm.
You'd love to have him on your college team. He's not quite. He's not quite Manziel. You'd love to have him on your college team. I don't think his game translates very well to the pros. Texas, they've looked a little bit better the last couple of weeks. Arch Manning has looked a little bit better the last couple of weeks. Let's see what they can do against a. It just sounds funny to say out loud. A top 10 Vanderbilt team.
Yeah,
that just sounds funny to say out loud. But there's your around campus segment here, Matt, as we head to the month of November in Week 10 of the college football season. It's happening very quick. Just 4 weeks left in the college football season. We will get back to the South Side and all the happenings with your Pittsburgh Steelers with Chris Halicke when we return on the other side. Wes Uhler, Matt Williamson. It's The Drive on the Steelers Audio Network. All right, Matt, we're going to call an audible.
Okay.
We're going to talk to our buddy Chris Halicke about, 20, 30 minutes from now.
Okay, we can handle that.
In hour number 2. And so we'll call a little bit of an audible with Halicke.
We'll have more time to talk to him then, too.
We will as well, too. It actually does kind of work out better for the layout of the show. And it gives us a few minutes here at the bottom of this hour, too. There were kind of a couple other... we talked Steelers news of the day, but NFL news of the day things, too, that I think deserve a mention. First of all...
Patriots make 2 trades and extend a guy. Right.
Absolutely. And also,
First
Matt,
off, I don't think the Patriots are sellers, by the way. They're just getting rid of the old and bringing in the new.
Surplus, in their minds. A kind of pretty substantial piece of league-wide news today, Matt. The Lions and Aiden Hutchinson, a 4-year, $180 million extension. That includes $141 million guaranteed, highest guaranteed number for a defensive player, average salary that trails only, of course, Green Bay's Micah Parsons, who just signed his deal not too long ago as well. Matt, big commitment from the Lions to Aiden Hutchinson. Rightfully so. He's a star in the making. I think he's banging very hard on the door of those elite edge pass rushers. I always had Watt, Crosby, Garrett, Bosa, Parsons. Yeah, and I think he and Will Anderson's another one that are, coming into their own and in that tier. I've talked about this a lot when actually after the Watt contract, that's one position that the NFL does not hesitate to pay, and you often have long careers. A lot of these guys have 2-3 contracts at that position, so that makes all the sense in the world. I just think the Lions are super interesting because they pay their dudes, have they.
Yeah, they send good messages, that you do your job as a Lion, we're going to reward you immediately. They don't screw around like the Hendrickson deal or Parsons or, some of these teams that make it linger, like, boom, let's just get this done. We want to be your guy. But I wonder, because we talked about this on another podcast, it's like, boy, it's weird that trade deadline week, the Patriots sign Jones, Hutchinson gets extended. You would think front offices and agents are busy doing other stuff this week.
Yeah.
And then I threw it out to my co-host brought it up, and I was like, well, maybe they're going to, I don't know their finances. Are they moving money around to make another move? I mean, are they opening cap space for today to add Hendrickson or whatever?
Yeah.
I don't know. Who knows?
That would be scary.
Right. But it's just weird to do extensions on trade deadline week.
Yeah, you are. The timing of it is funny. I don't think the announcement of it surprises anybody, but the timing of it is certainly funny.
It's not a huge move, but I referenced the Jones, the nickel corner that the Patriots re-signed. Mm-hmm. See, I think they're smart that they're trying to send a message to their locker room. We just traded 2 of your guys, but it's not because we're not in it.
Sure.
We still are investing all you guys. You know, it sends a good message while 2 people walk out the door. Well, it goes a long way when you extend someone in the locker room. I mean, it's party time.
You've talked about that before. It's like everybody feels good. It puts a nice pep in your step.
Yeah. Especially when you know the guy deserved it.
Especially that guy. Yes, 6 sacks this season, 29 quarterback pressures. That's second in the NFL, only behind Micah Parsons. 4 forced fumbles, tied for the league lead with Joey Bosa. He's played almost 93% of the Lions' defensive snaps. He's one of those guys that play
crazy.
Also credited with creating 2 interceptions via ESPN's Next Gen Stats. Of course, the second overall pick in 2022. Gets his big payday, and you mentioned some of those names for Detroit recently extending. Goff, $212 million. Amon-Ra St. Brown, $120 million. Penei Sewell, $112 million. Jamison Williams, $80 million. Joseph, $85 million. McNeil, $97 million. Taylor Decker, $60 million. They
send good messages, right?
And you're right. That's an organizational thing, and I think it has clearly worked out for them. The way that they've been doing it here.
So you mentioned Hutchinson and pressures. Coincidentally, before that even came across, someone tagged me on a tweet saying, check this out. And it was pressures per game this year.
Okay.
Hutchinson's number 1. I mean, he's ahead. It goes Hutchinson, Parsons, Will Anderson, Verse, Karlaftis, Tui Tupolopo, Hines Allen, Letu, and then Nick Herbig. The reason they tweeted me is because Herbig's 9th in pressures per game,
while not playing nearly as many snaps.
He plays half his snaps of those guys too. That's why they tweeted me. But it just so happens Hutchinson happened to be 1. I'm like, oh wow. I mean, he probably would have been Defensive Player of the Year had he not got injured last year.
I think so. He was
on that pace.
Certainly on that pace, and it's good to see him that he's put that behind him and gotten back to himself because he's fun to watch.
He's a really good player,
and he's a really good player, and he gets the payday to recognize that and to deserve that. Matt, that's an hour in the books, another hour to go. We'll do a little Best of the West on the other side.
All right.
Catch up with Chris Halicke, all that fun stuff in hour number 2. As we roll along here, it is The Drive on Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network. A little Best of the West for you. And I told you I was going to start switching it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Still, most of the time, 90% of the time, it'll be directly football-related things. But in the spirit of Halloween, I have for you, Matt, a different Best of the West today. Top 5 Halloween candies.
Okay.
Now, normally Best of the West is a 10 thing, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you best 5 traditional Halloween candies. And then
Snickers, the Reese's.
I'm going to give you best 5 of the new age new candies.
Okay, I'm not going to be real well versed on that. I'm going to show my age.
You want traditional? You want traditional first?
It doesn't matter.
We'll start at the back end. Let's go traditional. Number 5, just a straight up Hershey bar.
Oh, wouldn't be high on my list.
Maybe it's the central Pennsylvania roots that I have on my dad's side of the family.
Wrong, right.
Spent a lot of time at Hershey Chocolate World growing up.
Oh, did you? I've never been there.
Yeah, okay. I love a classic Hershey bar. Love a classic Hershey bar. Number 4, peanut M&Ms.
Solid. I've gotten back into peanut M&Ms.
Peanut.
Yes, agreed.
Specifically. The yellow packaging.
Yes.
So good. Hit the spot. Just the right amount of chocolate, right amount of crunch.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah, they're around our house a lot. My wife likes them, and yeah, they're a winner.
Number 3, Butterfinger. I think this
Ooh,
one's
I love Butterfingers.
Do you? Good.
I thought I'd be kind of on an island on that.
I feel like Butterfinger is one that kind of polarizing splits a crowd. You either love it or you're like, it's too flaky. It's too...
No, it's a winner.
My wife hates Butterfingers.
I can understand it.
Which is fine with me because I get them all.
I said Butterfinger Blizzard.
So
Yeah,
good.
baby.
You are speaking my language.
Yep.
Number 2, Snickers.
Mm.
You not a big Snickers guy?
It's fine. I mean, I eat them, and when they're sitting out there, don't get me wrong, I don't turn they're better than a Milky Way, but they would not make my top 5.
And number 1, the Michael Jordan, the Jim Brown, the Babe Ruth. It's Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. I mean, come on.
It's super solid. I eat way too many of them here than I should, too. I mean, that's another one I can't say no to.
Can't.
A couple of mine, in no particular order, I'm going to throw out there.
Yeah, go for it.
I mean, I don't think you can even find them anymore. Clark bars.
I knew you loved Clark bars.
They're Butterfinger friends, right? That's a Pittsburgh thing,
it
too.
It certainly is.
The Zagnut, too, is kind of that era. Couple that don't get enough credit, in my opinion. The Whatchamacallit, I was big on.
Great.
Real big on. Baby Ruth.
Baby Ruth is severely underrated.
Yes. And I think if I had to pick one, the 100 grand bar.
I like 100 grand,
100
too.
grand's
Those are
nice.
good. You a payday guy?
They're okay.
They're okay.
They're okay.
Thoughts on Twix?
I'm not into the wafer.
Thoughts on Kit Kat?
Good, but not in the top 10.
Okay.
I
like the shout outs for the throwbacks. That Mr. Goodbar guy.
It's okay, kind of boring though.
There's a lot of those out in the
I
in the
used to be
kitchen
running
sometimes.
across those a lot. Like the Three Musketeers, terrible.
Yeah, I can't.
I mean, nougat in general.
I don't think I've had a Three Musketeers since Nom. Now that you
they're
mention
not even
it.
like worth the calories, and I'm not one to be like watching my weight. Like I'm not even gonna bother with that.
That's funny. I haven't had a Three Musketeers in years.
Nougat, whatever nougat is, can. I'm also not a coconut guy at all.
I am.
People love coconut or aren't into
So
it.
I thought about Matt doing a top 5 favorite and a top 5 bad Halloween candies for this. But I didn't want to. It's been a little cantankerous in Steeler Nation this week. I didn't want to add fuel to the fire. But Almond Joy would be number 1 on my bad list. I don't like.
Oh yeah, you trade those immediately.
There's only one thing I like some coconut in, Matt, and that's a rum drink when I'm sitting on the beach and it's 90 degrees out in the middle of July.
Agreed. I don't hate coconut. I would never choose it.
I kind of, when it comes to being mixed with chocolate, I can't stand it.
Right.
Rum, different story. Top 5 new age candies, Matt. I'll be interested to see if you know any of these, like any of these, thoughts on any of these. Number 5 is the Kit Kat Witch's Brew.
Oh, I have no clue about that.
It's a Kit Kat with a little bit of marshmallow in it. And
marshmallow can also.
I'm not a huge marshmallow guy, but it's one of those things that I feel like when it works, it works. And with the Kit Kat, with the crunch and the chocolate, it's surprisingly melting. It's like the Guinness of candies. It's like
doesn't appeal to me, but I would definitely try one.
It's creamy and kind of melts in your mouth there.
Huh.
Number 4, the Reese's Fast Break.
Don't know it.
More chocolate, more peanut butter. It does have a little bit of nougat in it, which you wouldn't like.
Yeah.
But it's like a girthier peanut butter cup.
Okay. I accidentally had a Reese's peanut butter and jelly out there. And
I still haven't had one of those.
I thought I was just getting a regular Reese's in a funny wrapper.
Threw you off.
And the curveball I couldn't hit, yeah.
Number 3, Nerds Gummy Clusters. Have you had these yet?
For me, Nerds are even new. But I love gummies and I love Nerds.
Then you would love Nerds Gummy
appealing.
Clusters.
I kind of perked up with that.
Yeah, I've got a big box of like individual serving ones. I'll have to bring you in some. I'll have to bring you in some tomorrow.
Like my favorite candy, no one ever gives them to you at Halloween though, might be like gummy cherries.
So good.
They're so good, right?
So good.
Right.
I'm a big kind of gummy, and you don't think about that much at Halloween.
No, like I love Jolly Ranchers too, like stuff like non-chocolate stuff you don't get at Halloween.
If you told, and I know saying candy, that's a big blanket. Like you talking chocolate? Are you talking sweets? Are you talking gummies? Are you talking? But if I could only have one candy for the rest of my life, it might be the Nerds Gummy Clusters. They are so good.
That does sound like a good marriage there.
Number 2, the Reese's Oreo.
Oreos are overrated to me too.
Oh, but there's some of these out in our kitchen here. You got to go have one during break.
Okay.
It's a Reese's peanut butter cup with the Oreo on top. It's so good. It's so good.
I shouldn't say this, but are they out there right now?
Right now.
The little single guys.
Unless Tom,
Tom might have crushed them,
unless
right?
Tom ate them all.
So they're the single ones, and I thought I made my first coffee before we started. I picked one up. I'm like, oh, I have a Reese's. I never say no to one sitting out there. I opened it and it was kind of white on top. I'm like, is this white chocolate? I'm like, no one's watching. I put it back. I didn't even eat it. I covered it back up and I put it right back.
Confessing to a murder here on the show. And number one, Matt, big. The Reese's Take 5. Have you ever had a Take 5?
I think I've seen commercials for
that. They're incredible. They're essentially it's another kind of beefed up Reese's. And so it's got the chocolate and the peanut butter, but it's also got a pretzel on the inside. Okay. A little bit of caramel. It's just, again, it's I love a Take 5.
I'm sure it's great. I could buy that.
It's fantastic. It's got a little peanut flavor in it, little pretzel flavor in it. It's real good.
So I've got a theory here real quick that all these chocolate bars, we'll just call them chocolate bars, like anything, they're the same. It's like Mexican food. There's really only like 8
Beans,
ingredients.
Rice, protein,
cheese, right. And there's
avocado,
no wrong combination.
Yeah, they're all delicious.
Right. Like if I took a Snickers and shoved pretzels in it, it'd be fine. Or made it dark chocolate instead of regular chocolate, or add nuts to anything. It's like
the floor is very high on these things.
You can mix it. I mean, here's 10 ingredients. Pick any 3, they'll be fine together.
I'm with you on that.
It's kind of cheating, And Mexicans the same way. It's like whatever I put in my burrito, I'm gonna like.
That's it.
Yeah, right.
Is it going to be sour cream? Is it going to be avocado? Is it going to be
whatever
a Chipotle sauce?
Right.
Whatever it is, I'm sure it'll be delicious.
Yes.
That's why
none of them don't go with the other. Like cheese goes with everything.
That's why I do kind of laugh when people are like, I hate Twix, or whatever. Like, it's not that much different than what your except for Almond Joy.
Right. If there's something that's like coconut you don't want or marshmallow, like those aren't high, I would not go for the nougat.
Almond Joy can get in the bin as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Rubbish. We've got to get to a break.
The peppermint patty.
Rubbish. Right in the bin.
Right.
Right in the bin. Get out of here.
Especially when you're a kid. It's like, this is an adult treat or something. Like,
we'll talk to our
You know what a Necco wafer is?
I do.
They're like eating chalk.
It's been forever since I've had one.
I hope they don't exist
What were the
anymore.
peppermint York peppermint patties, right?
Patties. They were supposed to be refreshing. They were coconut.
Are those based out of York, PA? Is that how they get the name York?
I'm guessing.
You just York. Leave the chocolate to Hershey.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But a Necco wafer is like eating
probably owned.
Chalk or a Kleenex or something.
Probably owned by Hershey at this point. Anyways, we got to get to a break. We'll get Chris Halicke's thoughts not only on the best Halloween candies, but of course on all the recent moving and shaking for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll do that when we return on the other side. Wes Uhler, Matt. Oh, also let us know. You know where to get us on Twitter, the comments, whatever. Let us know your thoughts on best and worst,
of course,
Halloween candies. The important stuff here today on a Wednesday, as we are getting close to Halloween here at the end of the month. Halicke on the other side. Uhler, Williamson. It's The Drive. Back on The Drive here as we roll along on a Wednesday, and of course a big part of our Wednesday conversation is going to the phone lines and talking to our buddy Chris Halicke, covers the Steelers for DK Pittsburgh Sports. Chris, thank you for taking the time as always, and it's been a busy-ish 24 hours for the Steelers here in terms of some moving and some shaking, particularly in the secondary. Let's start first with the name that we're familiar with. Corey Trice Jr. returns to practice, now in that 21-day window of activation. It feels like this weekend could be a stretch as he's just returning to practice here today. But do you think it's only a matter of if, not when, we see Corey Trice Jr. kind of at a probably opportune time here thrown into the fold in that Steelers secondary?
Yeah, I think I also agree. I have a hard time seeing him jumping on that moving train that everybody likes to talk about and getting activated and playing any kind of meaningful snaps this Sunday, especially when you're talking about facing the number one offense in the NFL. But who knows? I mean, they could just be like, listen, we need some change. We need something different. If they like where he's at, physically, if they don't think there's any kind of physical limitations, then, who knows? We might actually see him. But just based off of precedent, the way that Mike Tomlin has handled the younger players coming off of, something like this, something, like a longer IR stint, usually it's a little bit of a slower process back. But Either way, it's another guy to add into the mix. And right now, when you're kind of in a, I don't want to say free fall, but when you're playing the way that you're playing right now, and you've lost games the way you've lost in the past 2 weeks, having options is not a bad thing. And getting Corey Trice back is definitely a help, because it's at least another guy you could possibly turn to if that is the solution, is to possibly change some things around in terms of who's actually out on the field.
So yesterday, Wes and I, Chris, talked about how the defensive backfield is a puzzle that's a hard one to put together. Safety in particular is a bit of a mystery to me pre-Kyle Duggar trade, and still kind of is. Why is Clark over Peppers? Thornhill seems like he's going backwards. Could Ramsey be your free safety? What do you think just of the safety position as a whole? How does Duggar fit in? And do you have any clue who's going to lose a roster spot whenever he joins the roster?
Well, I mean, they would. I would assume that in terms of who they take off of the roster, that Deshaun Elliott would be placed on IR.
Oh, really?
That would create the roster spot.
I was hoping wasn't your answer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have that, verifiable from a source, but that's the way I'm leaning right now.
Yeah.
Just because, even though Tomlin said, that he's week to week, it's a hyperextended knee. I have a hard time seeing him come back in less than 4 weeks from an injury like that. If he comes back in 6, that's phenomenal. But so I think getting Kyle Duggar, I honestly think that's your plug and play for Deshaun Elliott.
I tend to think so too. Yeah, even as early as this week.
Well, he wasn't with the team today. The trade is not yet official. He didn't have a locker, and so
it still hasn't been announced on Steelers.com or anything.
I guess we should mention that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not. Yeah, the trade is not official right now. So he wasn't practicing with the team today. I mean, so he's not officially a member of the team. So I have a hard time thinking that he's going to play that he's going to play Sunday. Just because he's now, you talk about the moving train heading for, facing the Colts on Sunday. I have a hard time seeing maybe 1 or 2 practices he's good to go. But I think, more
Peppers, more Ramsey at safety.
I think you're definitely going to see more Peppers.
Good.
I think he's going to be more of that play. And then, just talking about after Duggar is here, I think this Sunday is going to help give us a further indication, because if Duggar obviously doesn't play, which I don't think he will, then you will have some further answers on Chuck Clark and Juan Thornhill. I tend to think that when the Steelers are in their nickel, the solution might actually be to play Duggar in that box safety, and then have Peppers play the free safety. They've played together in New England.
Mm-hmm.
They've got some chemistry from there. You have to talk to Peppers about that to see what that relationship is like. But they've played together before. That might be something they could tap into. Jabril Peppers is not my ideal free safety, but that's just me.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, but that doesn't mean that it's right. But shoot, at this point, when you talk about any kind of cohesion that you could possibly have among players, especially on the back end, and see how much it struggled this year, then I mean, if it can help, then it can help. So, but for this week, I think you're going to see a lot more Jabril Peppers, and then Chuck Clark, Juan Thornhill. I'm kind of curious to see how the rotation is going to be, because it has been a bit of a mess.
So if you're expand upon, I mean, I know you're not saying this is definitely going to happen, but if Peppers and Duggar are your starting safeties in nickel, I would imagine Ramsey's your slot. Porter's an outside corner, of course. Mm-hmm. Is Eccles over Slay outside?
It's possible.
I would condone it.
We've now seen near the end of games in 2 weeks in a row in which Eccles has really gone in and Slay's been on the sideline.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think, when it comes to a veteran player that Mike Tomlin has a lot of respect for, I don't see him just completely pulling the plug and saying, all right, Slay is completely gone. He's going to be on the sideline holding his helmet. But then again, Mike Tomlin wants to win. And
could he be on another team holding a different helmet?
That's the legitimate solution. That's a really possible solution.
It's not
here.
Crazy talk. Yeah.
It's not crazy talk, because listen, if they don't feel like that it's a good fit, and they feel like they have, they're getting Corey Trice back now.
Mm-hmm.
If they feel like they have enough corners to get the job done, and they really have a lot of faith in Brandon Echols, and they have liked Brandon Echols since the very beginning of this entire process. He was making impressions right away in training camp, and he's continued to make impressions. I think that's a realistic possibility. Do I think it's going to happen as soon as this Sunday? Brandon Echols is absolutely a starter over Darius. If the defense is introduced, Brandon Echols going to be running out of the tunnel and not Darius Slay? I doubt it. But will Echols play more snaps than Slay? I'm not going to completely rule it out. Yeah.
So, Chris, the Steelers obviously making a move, but we know that the trade deadline is still 6 days away. It sounds to me a little bit like you think they might not be done doing business at this point.
No. Omar Khan has been I swear, every time I run into him on the south side, he's on the phone. He's constantly talking. He's constantly doing something. But there's always the talk about wide receiver. I still think they could be looking for wide receivers and not just working out guys like Marquez Valdes-Scantling. I'm thinking they're still, looking there. But while I think that that's still a possibility, they got Calvin Austin back. Roman Wilson starting to get a little bit more comfortable. Aaron Rodgers is starting to get more comfortable with Roman. Is it as pressing of a need as it was at the start of the season? I don't think so, especially when you see how much this offense is humming with larger personnel on the field. I think the main thing that acquiring a receiver of that kind, if you're talking about a Jacoby Myers or another receiver of that caliber, it's insurance for if DK Metcalf ever gets injured. I think that's probably more of what that would be for. It just really, really solidifies that depth, and you're not if a major key player in the receiver room goes down, you're not scrambling like they were last year when George Pickens was injured. In terms of other moves, I'm not going to rule anything out, whether that's trading away a starter that's on the team right now. But one thing that I know for sure, whether it's players they're acquiring, players they're getting rid of, whatever it is, they are making moves to get better. Mike Tomlin made that very, very clear. They're always buying. They're trying to get better. This is a team that's still in first place. We know the rhetoric that's going around with this team right now and all the outside noise, all the concern, but this is still a team in first place in its division, still in line where if the season ended today, they'd be hosting a playoff game. So they're going to continue trying to get better, build off of that. So whatever moves are made, Omar Khan is going to try to make the team better equipped to try to compete for a Super Bowl this year.
Chris, last thing I really got for you is if Siamalu is going to be sidelined for a while, obviously Anderson's his replacement. Does the jumbo package get sidelined, or does Calvin Anderson get the bump? Or I had heard some people say maybe Pete could be your left guard and Anderson could be your sixth guy. Again, still Spencer. You have any thoughts on that?
I do. I don't think that it's completely dead. I think with how much of a weapon it's been.
Yeah, so
they probably prefer to find a way. Now, I think in terms of the totality of the snaps, I think Spencer Anderson is going to be your left guard on Sunday if Siamalu can't play. However, I do think, and my first bet on this would be Andrews Pete comes in, plays left guard, Spencer Anderson kicks out, and he's the normal, jumbo, extra eligible.
I like it.
That they have there. That would be the way I lean on this. Can't verify that, obviously, but that would be my guess for what the Steelers would do if they were to continue that. But I have a hard time thinking that they're just going to completely scrap it. It's one thing when the injury happens in game and you make that adjustment, like all of us, you haven't practiced it and anything like that. But
and Pete would be
inactive,
right?
You didn't
have that
absolutely,
option, right.
Yeah, and he wasn't even active last week. Yeah, but yeah, that would be my guess. But I would think more than anything, whatever their solution is, would be to keep that a weapon, to not just be like, well, I just say I'm always injured, now Spencer Anderson is going to do nothing but play left guard. When it's worked as well as it has, and it's unlocked the run game the way it has, no, I don't think they're just going to throw that away just because of injuries.
Good.
Chris, last one for you before we let you go. Of course, we've covered the important stuff, but now we must ask you the very important stuff. We are about to kick off the stretch run of the end of the year of holiday season. Of course, Thanksgiving and Christmas on the horizon, but it begins this Friday with Halloween. So, Matt and I just want to know, give us one or two Halloween candies that you can't live without, and one or two that when you see them, they immediately go in the trash can.
Yeah, which ones are you stealing out of your kids, out of the kids' trick-or-treat bag?
Milky Way and Twix are the ones that
You're an old school dude, though, for a young pup.
I like it.
Yeah, Milky Way and Twix are the ones. The Starburst too. I mean, growing up, Starburst was.
It's a good answer.
Starburst was my favorite growing up. Especially
just not the orange.
No. So my daughter is like very, very protective of the pink ones. If she sees me taking a pink Starburst out of her Halloween bucket, I get the fury like a woman scorn. Yeah. No, the ones I'm throwing away, candy corn is just absolutely disgusting. Cannot stand it.
We're not coconut fans here. Milky Ways or
Almond Joy. We agreed can get in the bin.
Not big. Plus, okay, so you're talking about coconut, which already gets stuck in your teeth, and you're talking about almonds, which break your teeth. So no, thank you.
Are you telling me Almond Joys are a deep?
Dangerous.
They're a deep state conspiracy from the local dentist association to keep everybody in line.
Seriously,
they might be. You might be on. Listen, you're the boots on the ground reporter. You might have to investigate that a little bit for us. Chris Halicke, make sure you're checking out all his work. DK Pittsburgh Sports. Chris, thank you so much for the time, buddy. Enjoy Halloween with your family, and we'll see you this weekend.
All right, thanks guys for having me. I appreciate it.
There he goes. Great stuff as always from Chris Halicke.
We overlooked the Starburst.
That's a good call.
Because it's just a different world. There's no
it is,
chocolate
but it deserves
involved.
a mention.
It deserves a mention because you're going to get them in your bag, right?
I think the ideal blend is like one or two good chocolate candies, chocolate bars, and one or two good like gummy, fruity, type
non-chocolate
Starburst, Nerds, clusters. I think that's kind of the balance that we're looking for in life here.
I hear you. Yeah, the orange Starburst you can have, though.
Yeah, not very good.
It's a distant fourth.
You can now, if you go to the right store, like the right grocery store or something, Target or Walmart or whatever.
Can you just get lemon?
You can just get pink or just get red, or you can get like a bag of them. That's
nice.
It's real dangerous. Dangerous.
I remember when Jolly Ranchers, you could just get the lemons. I was like, oh baby, I don't have to fight through the grapes and the oranges and bleh.
You get a bag of those Starburst pinks, Matt. You sit down on the couch to watch Thursday Night Football. The next thing you look at, you're like digging into the bag and you're like, wait, it's empty. What happened?
Any orange or grape flavored candy is not my bag.
I can do orange.
And I like oranges and I like grapes, but they just taste fake to me. They don't.
Orange, I'm totally with you. I would say watermelon flavoring. I love watermelon. I think watermelon flavoring always tastes janky to me. It just doesn't taste right. It tastes fake and artificial and not like a watermelon.
I see where you're coming from, but a watermelon Jolly Rancher still makes me happy.
Maybe Jolly Rancher is the one exception.
But it's not my top 5 choices in Jolly Rancher land. Apple, lemon,
Next week on Best of the West, we'll power rank the best Jolly Rancher flavors. We've got one more segment to go. We've got the Steelers' latest practice report that we got to get to, and maybe a tweet or two if we have time before we get out of here as well. We'll do all that to wrap things up on the other side. Wes Uhler, Matt Williamson. It's The Drive on Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network. Final segment here on a Wednesday as we reach the halfway point of the week. Obviously, tomorrow we will talk to, I tell you what, speaking of Halloween, the guy with all the best Halloween nicknames, Bob Labriola.
Oh, yeah.
The Lord of Living in His Fears, the Master of Misery, I
bet he's not thrilled with how things went Sunday night.
I bet he's not. I bet he'll bring some doom and gloom to the program. Tomorrow we'll also begin all of that Matt's stats and scouting the Colts. But with that, Matt, Wednesday today, we've got the Steelers' first practice report, injury report of the week here. Some good news, some bad news, as always. I think not to anybody's surprise, but obviously we'll get this out of the way. Deshaun Elliott and Daniel Ekuale did not practice today.
Yeah.
Still no official IR designations, at least as we're doing this now, but that one not as surprising. Also, Scotty Miller did not practice with that finger injury that he was dealing with. Isaac Seumalo missed practice with a pectoral injury.
Also not surprising.
Don't think that's surprising as well. But then the two that you don't want to see, Pat Freiermuth did not practice with a quad injury. Zach Frazier still dealing with that calf. He did not practice as well.
Okay. On a Wednesday, though.
Still early doors.
Right,
Let's not panic.
A lot of these guys, or all these guys, are dealing with something. But
yes.
Okay. The Freiermuth one's news to me.
The entire trio of guys who are now in their 21-day window to return from IR. All were full practice participants. So Will Howard, Corey Trice, and Malik Harrison, all three.
I forgot about Harrison. Okay.
All three full practice participants. Matt, last one here. Ben Skronik was limited today with a neck injury. So
okay. Well, there's going to be some roster moves here real soon.
There's going to be some moving and shaking, and I certainly
we might have jumped the gun talking about Duggar, but Schefter reported it, and if he's not officially a Steeler announced yet, but somebody's got to go, and I didn't love hearing Elliott, but when he said that, I'm like, yeah, that's probably how it is.
Makes sense.
Yeah, right.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, certainly, but it does make sense. And
right. If he's not going to play definitely the next 2 or 3 games, maybe he plays the 4th, and he's got to be out for IR anyway.
Right.
Okay.
Significant around the division as well, too, Matt. Joe Flacco dealing with an AC joint sprain in his throwing shoulder. Did not practice. His status is up in the air for Sunday, according to Ian Rappaport.
Now, he's not Joe Burrow, but if he doesn't play, I think their season's probably officially shot. And it's time to sell at the trade deadline.
They're on life support right now.
Right. Losing this past week was a blow to the Jets.
They are still within reasonable striking distance of the Steelers.
Oh, they are.
But, you lose Flacco as well as Joe Burrow. Obviously, you have to go back to Browning. That would feel like.
They're one of the few teams that at the trade deadline you come to the road and there's the why. I could make an argument for both. Most teams you can't. But one more loss, I'd really start leaning towards the sell.
Let's trade
route.
Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
Let's
get on with it, and it's not our year.
I think you are. I think you are correct in that one. Couple tweets to close us down here, Matt, for today. Before we do that, though, I did want to give a quick shout out. And his mom Marty tweeted me, the DeSantis family. They are training camp regulars. I'm sure you have met them at some point during training camp, Matt. Their son James has Duchenne muscular dystrophy. He's in a wheelchair. They are always wearing Penn State and Ohio State stuff. So if you've ever met them, maybe that would paint the picture for you. But they were very close with Wolf. They would come out to training camp every year. They'd bring James down onto the sideline. An incredibly kind family. They'd bring me cookies and stuff like that to Wolf and I every single year. James had his 18th birthday today.
Very cool.
And for people... Not a scientist. Okay, you and I talk about this all the time when we talk injuries. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. It's not my field.
Yeah.
But I know for somebody with Duchenne muscular dystrophy, turning 18 years old is a big deal, is a big milestone.
Really? Okay.
And so
congratulations. That's awesome.
A big happy 18th birthday to one of the biggest Steelers fans that I know, James DeSantis. Wanted to make sure that I said that.
Glad you did.
Big thanks to he's a diehard listener of the show. The whole family, they're SNR junkies. You know what I mean? They've got us on all the time.
Nice.
So wanted to give a big shout out and a happy 18th birthday to James, and a big thanks to his mom, Marty, for reaching out to me and letting me know that today was his 18th birthday.
Wow.
Keep on keeping on, James, dude, and let's get a victory this weekend
tremendous.
to put the cherry on top for you. Matt, we got a couple. Tom and Cody both asked in a question here that's kind of similar, and just it relates to the conversation about the secondary that we've been having a lot this week, and I think the defense as a whole. Talking about kind of Jimmys and Joes versus X's and O's. How much of the Steelers' struggle is maybe just players that are now on the other side of their prime, entering their 30s, not. I hate it when everyone's washed, everyone's cooked.
Right. That's not how it works.
It's not how it works.
Right.
But guys who aren't 27 years old and absolutely in the prime of their career versus kind of just some schematic things that the Steelers could be doing differently. How do you kind of come down on striking that balance?
The answer to almost every football question I've ever been asked is a blend of all the above. Of course. I mean, there's 11 people on the field. Coaching's more important than other sports. So when things go wrong, it's almost never one thing to blame or one player to blame or one coach to blame. And I think that's the truth here too. Now, I am a little concerned, not necessarily with the Duggar trade or any specific move, but team speed in the back end is lacking.
It's not a strength.
It's not a strength. And I thought going into the season, they would move and run collective as a whole better than they do in the secondary. I mean, I don't know that there's anyone that's fast for his respective position.
Maybe Elliott. And he's not going to be out there now.
Porter, but I mean, he doesn't run a 4.2 either. I mean, I don't worry about Porter's speed, but everyone else is, and they're not getting faster because it is an older group now. I mean, Peppers and Thornhill, and these guys are who they are at this point. But I don't know the schemes helped them either. I mean, there's a lot of instances on tape. First of all, there's too many communication issues with the back seven in general.
Way too many.
With simple motion across, a tight end goes from the left to the right, and people start looking at each other like, who's got who? Like, that can't happen. And there's definitely communication issues all the way through the secondary.
Too many guys with their palms up looking around at each other.
Right. And it does, contrary to popular belief, it happens every week to every team. And sometimes it gets exposed more than others, but there's been too much. And frankly, I think now it's easy for me to sit here in this chair and say it. They are playing a lot of man, but they've also played a lot of off man. And if everyone wants to get the ball out quick, I would prefer to see more press just to disrupt things as opposed to catch, throw. Flacco did a ton of that.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers is great at it. But that's also some trust other than Porter, who's our press man guys. They have more man guys than last year, but who's our press man guys? Is Ramsey and Slay still in that neighborhood? I think they're telling us they don't think so, or they do more of it.
Sometimes they don't need to say. You just got to look at their actions.
That's why these questions are always multiple answers.
Yeah.
I mean, you could just say, well, they should tell them all do press man, like they're the Mel Blunt and whoever else. Like,
and what if that's a worse position for them to succeed?
That's what I mean. It's like they've thought of this too, folks.
It's like you can just tell Wes Uhler to do TV, but he's going to be a disaster. All the bright lights and where do I look and what camera is this?
It's not even that. Like, Williamson's got a face for radio. I mean, that's why I've been a radio guy for my whole life. I mean, if I was a cutie like Rob King, I'd have been on TV all this time,
And then you'd have to put on some makeup as well, too, like Rob King.
I'm not doing that. No dressing this pig up.
No. Oh, come on. We put lipstick on you, baby. You look great. That'll do it for the show today. A big thanks to Chris Halicke for joining us. Big thanks to our video producer / statistician, Mr. TV. Matt, tomorrow. I don't know why. I've been liking doing this lately. Teasing tomorrow.
Okay.
You unearthed some crazy stats as it relates to the Steelers defense and their quarter-by-quarter splits.
I'm all about it this last 24 hours, so it's all I can think about.
And I was thinking about getting it to here in this last segment, but I don't want to shortchange it.
Yeah, it's not a 2-minute conversation.
It's not. In fact,
and some of it might even be promising. I mean, if you could at least...
That's the weird part about it.
How often have we had these conversations, like going to the doctor? But maybe the disease is a little more acute than I thought.
A little more benign.
I don't know about benign. It's raging. I mean, there's no the disease is winning. I think you can at least figure out more where the problem is now. So that's a good tease.
Matt with some really good stuff on that. And that is where, when we get into Matt's stats and start to preview the Colts tomorrow, we will begin with this Steeler defense and how things have shaken out on a quarter-to-quarter basis. There will be some stuff in there that's going to encourage the fan base.
Yeah.
There's also some in there that is kind of glaring and staring you right down the barrel.
And anything to do with Colts offense, you're not going to like hearing as the upcoming opponent.
Yeah.
It's really good.
I mean, we talked about them. There was like 5 guys, not the burger company. There was like 5 guys on that offense alone that we would love to have. We will do all of that. Start there tomorrow. Really focus on the Colts as we scout Indianapolis and get into all of Matt's stats and some really good breakdown on this Steelers defense on a quarter-by-quarter basis. We'll do all of that and more tomorrow. For Matt Williamson, I'm Wes Uhler. Thanks, everybody. Take care. We will talk to you tomorrow. As always, you know where to find us. It's on your 24/7 home of the black and gold. It's Steelers Nation Radio on the Steelers Audio Network.